It's Vegan Freak Radio number 102 on the 16th of November, 2008.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
Hello, everyone. It's Jenna.
And Bob, and we're back again for another edition of Vegan Freak Radio.
Yeah, we're just sorry. We're just slightly confused here because something went pop during the intro, and we have no idea what it was.
Yeah, I have no clue what it was. It's really weird. Well, who the hell cares? Whatever. Shit happens.
But anyway, we're still recording, so hey, that's good.
We're fine. I think we are still recording.
Looks like it. So, yep.
Okay, so anyway, welcome back to another edition of Vegan Freak Radio. We are broadcasting from high atop the elite fortress of moral superiority, along with Mole and Emmy.
Yep.
Mole is in here looking for attention, and Emmy is chewing on an island bone. And tugs mugs of warm vanilla tea in hand. We're ready yet again to bring you more exciting vegan-powered radio.
All right.
Yes?
Yes.
So, we have a couple things we're going to do in today's show.
We are going to talk about something we saw on TV the other day, and you have been featured on Opposing Views.
Yeah, I submitted an argument to the site opposingviews.com, which apparently has been broken this weekend. But anyway, it's a site where I was asked to submit something along... I guess we should begin to talk about this
Go
while
ahead.
I'm going there.
Why not?
Anyway, Opposing Views, basically, they have all of these questions that... if you're on either side of whatever issue they're asking, make you want to pull your hair out with frustration. Things like, is spanking children okay? Was the world created in 6 days? Should boys be circumcised? Marriage for same-sex couples? Is homosexuality a sin? Is there a God? Intelligent design? And, of course, into all of this goes the animal rights stuff. So, I was asked to contribute a brief little essay on should animals have the same rights as people? Now, I think it's a very troubling question.
Yeah, that's not the question to ask.
Well, not really, not fully. Mm-hmm. Should animals have the same rights as people? Sometimes.
Yeah.
in some situations, it depends.
It depends.
It depends. And I think it depends because would having a right to vote do Mole any good?
No.
Probably not. I don't think you go in there and pull the levers, number one. Though,
he probably could, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And at our polling station, the polling workers usually have snack foods that are donated by a local business. Mole would definitely be into the snack foods at the local polling station. But a right to vote is not important for Mole.
No, he doesn't care who's president.
He doesn't. Although, in my heart, I know he prefers it not be a Republican. So, in my heart, I know that. I spend a lot of time, Mole and I, we spend a lot of time together.
Plus, if the economy's better, then that's, more biscuits for them.
That's true, too. So, more treats for the dogs if the economy improves. And anyway, so was that you?
Oh, sorry. I just ran into the table with my chair.
Jeez, come on. Anyway, the point is that the right to free speech, the right to vote, these aren't the rights that our animals need in any kind of way at all, really. So, in a sense, no, I don't think animals should have the same rights as people in those situations. But in other situations, in other relevant respects, for example, the ability to suffer and the ability to live one's life, not being the chattel of another, the ability to live freely, I think animals should have the same rights as people.
Definitely.
Or very similar ones, let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. So I basically wrote up a quick little essay about that and put it up on the opposingviews.com site. And there are other people there who are arguing, of course, against it. One guy, Tibor, whatever. How do you say Tibor? Whatever. Tibor Machan, Machan. He wrote a book that I critiqued pretty heavily in Making a Killing. So it was kind of funny to see him up there because his book is something about why humans are nature's favorite, which on the face of it is a really stupid thing because humans are no way nature's favorite.
No.
I think there's just no way you could argue that. I mean, look what we do to nature. We have totally destroyed it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like saying, someone who beats the hell out of you and pollutes you is your favorite, right? So yeah, oh yeah, that person, he's my favorite. He comes in and kicks me in the nuts all the time, and then injects me with paint with toxic chemicals. That's my favorite. So on the face of it, it's a ridiculous thing. But so I posted a little thing over there. You should go check it out. It's at opposingviews.com. I'll put a link to it in the show notes over at our site and in the email we send out.
And hopefully the links will work at some point. They get their site fixed.
The site has been very weird all weekend.
Yeah, some of the arguments work and some of them don't.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Very strange indeed. I do begin the piece by talking about the young ones, including a quote from Neil on the young ones, who is the hippie. Do I actually have that in the soundboard somewhere?
We used to, I think, didn't we? We used to have a bunch of young ones clips.
I don't know.
I think they might have gotten removed.
I used to have the vegetable rights and peace in here. Anyway, it was a vegetable rights and peace quote that I began by talking about in the thing. As an additional, I don't think it's an enticement. It's not really the word I would use. But if you go there, you get to see a headshot of me wearing a suit and looking professional.
You do.
I clean up pretty well.
You clean up very nice.
I clean up pretty well. And I also wrote a little bio for them that kind of pokes fun at libertarians. So anyway, go check it out at opposingviews.com. If you are so inclined, give me a little thumbs up, because you can give a little thumbs up to the arguments. Give me thumbs up. Give me lots and lots of thumbs up. And yeah. Also, Animal Friendly, Eric from Animal Friendly posted some stuff over there too, so he would also deserve some thumbs up.
Definitely.
Presumably. I haven't had a chance to read everything over there. I will probably get involved in the debate. It's like a debate. You can post more arguments if you want to. I originally didn't want to get involved because we're under deadline for a book, and I didn't think, actually I'm under deadline for 2 books. I didn't think I wanted to be involved in it. Knowing me, I will not be able to keep myself away from it. Somebody will say something that will annoy the shit out of me. I will brood over it for 3 or 4 days. I will go there and write something, and I just won't be able to stay away. So I'm just predicting that.
That sounds about right.
It does, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Jenna, you know me so well.
Yeah.
Yes. Poor Jenna. She has to put up with me. I am so scattered, and I don't know. I'm just like,
it's all right.
I'm easily distracted by shiny, interesting or technological things. So I'll be talking to Jenna, and in the middle of I go, oh, something bright and shiny. I'm like George Bush almost. Look at the kitty. So George Bush giving a little talk. Oh, is that a kitty walking by? So anyway, that's Opposing Views. Now, you want to talk about that thing we watched in
Trading Spaces.
That's
not Trading Spouses.
Which is what we were calling it earlier.
Yes, Trading Spaces, which we hardly ever watch because it usually makes me annoyed because they do really bad designs.
They decorate the rooms in the weirdest colors. It's like, ooh, let's paint one wall chocolate and the other one purple. It's like,
I know. And well, that was no exception on this show that we watched. They did some really hideous design.
Yes.
But anyway, we were bored. We were watching it. And
we were in a hotel room.
We always, whenever we're in a hotel, we end up watching HGTV and TLC because there's nothing else on usually. Discovery.
We just end up watching things we'd never normally watch.
I know.
Because you're in a hotel room. What else can you do? After you've done the obvious things that there are to do in a hotel room, what? And I mean, what else is there to do?
So we were watching Trading Spaces. And
by the way, I meant showering and changing.
Right.
In what respect, Charlie?
They won't go away for a long time.
These clips?
Yeah.
These will never go away. Just like this one.
In a few moments, you can come up and pet the turkey if you want to.
That is forever in the vegan free.
Is.
That one, the turkey sound clip, will never go anywhere.
Hey, this is our first show since the election, isn't it?
Oh my God, are we that delinquent?
I think so. I think it is. I think we are.
We suck.
We do.
We suck.
But anyway, so yeah, one cool step
yes.
for the country. We elected a Democrat. Amazing.
I think it's a good thing. In general, I'm always skeptical about politicians.
Of course, but change is good.
Thank you, Obama.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Anyway, what was I talking about? Trading
This is like,
Spaces.
Welcome to the ADD cast with your host, Bob and Jenna. What? What are we doing?
Are we doing a show?
Welcome to the Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder podcast.
Right. Anyway. Okay, so on this show, this
That's what makes this
particular episode, it is. There were 2 married couples, and they were we missed the very, very beginning, so I think it was a sister and her brother So there was the two women were sister-in-laws.
Sisters-in-law.
Sisters-in-law. Oh my God, yeah, sisters-in-law.
Just to put off
Yes.
the deluge of emails saying, you don't say
I
sister-in-laws,
know,
it's sisters-in-law.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Okay. And one of them, she said she was a vegetarian,
She did say vegetarian.
but we think she's vegan because she made it extremely clear that she didn't want any leather or any animal or any wool type thing, and there was no milk to be found in her refrigerator.
Yeah, they were complaining about it when they had their coffee in the morning. We couldn't find any creamer in your animal-friendly house, is what the other sister-in-law said.
Exactly. So we had this vegan, and she was really nice. And she wasn't like totally in your face about it, but she did have her demands, like any of us would. Like if somebody was going to redo our room, I wouldn't want them to put in a leather couch or anything made out of wool or silk or anything like that.
Right.
So of course she's going to be upfront about that.
Fundamentalist weirdo.
I know. And so then this sister-in-law was a real bitch.
Tell us how you really feel.
No, she really was. I mean, it doesn't sound like this is a new sister-in-law relationship. It was like they've known each other for a really long time, and I didn't think this person was a new vegan or anything. And so all she did was give the vegan shit about being a vegan.
She gave her shit about being vegan, but they also had, but along with that went this idea that she was not fun.
Exactly.
Like, oh, she's so like uptight and she's not fun and all this other stuff. And it wasn't clear that stemmed from her actually being uptight, but from the perception that she was uptight because she didn't want to have leather and she didn't want to have milk in her house and all this other stuff.
Exactly. So it was really frustrating to see from our end because like other than, not saying that she didn't want this kind of stuff in her house, which is completely understandable for all of us, she was just like any other normal person. She seemed, lighthearted, normal, American down-home person kind of thing,
No, I wouldn't say she was down home.
Well, no, but she was, they lived in Colorado.
I'm a maverick. Maverick.
So, yeah, she looked like just, your average
She looked
person.
She looked totally average.
So it was really frustrating to see this person because like they made this little video. The sister-in-law made this video about, it was so much fun redecorating your room, and even though we were frustrated at the fact that there was no milk for our coffee, and this is for 2 days.
Yeah.
and oh my God, you're gonna die if you don't have milk in your coffee for 2 days.
Well, you can go to a convenience store.
Yeah, but they probably didn't want them to bring the milk into their house.
Well, you can go to a convenience store and get coffee and put milk into the coffee.
Right, and then just bring the coffee.
Then bring a cup
or
of
you can,
coffee.
Oh my God, drink it black.
You
for
could
2
put
days.
soy milk in it.
Or put soy milk in it.
I mean, I'm sure she had soy milk or rice milk or almond milk or other nut milk.
Right. Like, when we're on the road and there's no soy milk to be found, I'll drink it black. I want my caffeine. My caffeine is more important to me.
Indeed.
It's like, oh, well, it's one coffee. No
I
biggie.
agree. But what else did you want to, what other observations did you have about the show, as you recall?
But it's interesting, though, also, because it really shows a lot of the frustrations that our listeners call in about.
Sure.
It's like dealing with family members and with people who just do not get it and who have these perceptions, and that even if they know us,
Yeah.
they still have these perceptions about us that we're unhealthy, that we're no fun, that we're fundamentalists, that we're inflexible about everything,
Yeah.
and it's a real shame.
I don't think we have that problem.
No. Oh, well, no, I didn't say we did, but
Yeah.
a lot of our listeners call in.
Sure.
And they have these, these issues with people who just cannot, they just don't get it and are completely understanding and will not, help in any way whatsoever.
So people who won't get it and refuse to get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, and this person didn't want her sister-in-law to become vegan or anything. We don't expect that our family members are going to turn automatically. Some do. It's great.
No,
but it's we're living our lives.
Agreed.
And let us do it,
My perception was in watching it that the vegan sister-in-law wasn't particularly militant. Like she was just
No.
kind of, this is what I am.
Yeah. And she didn't shy away from it.
Not at all. Not at all.
But she wasn't militant at all, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she was militant in the least. And she seemed to really be like, this is what I am. But it seemed like it really bothered the other sister-in-law that she was like that at all.
Yeah.
And then that translated into, oh, she's no fun to be around. And she's so uptight and all this other stuff. And maybe she is uptight. I don't know. We don't know these people, but whatever. Some of you out there, I'm sure, have seen it.
Yeah, they ended up doing this really hideous design in the vegans' room.
Oh, they did. It was really bad.
Yeah, they put up like these big. Okay, she also wanted it kind of green, so
Yeah.
she wanted all these, environmentally friendly things and everything. And so they put up this huge poster of like this Earth kind of
Yes.
thing. It was like some ad council ad about loving the Earth and whatever. But and one of these huge posters would have been fine, but they plastered it on every wall. It was like the whole wall was this, and it was so busy and it was really ugly.
It was all the way around the room.
Yeah.
It was too much.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise the design was right, but that was hideous.
It was way too much. It was like a little like TV room or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting. It's just, I mean, it always, any one of us, we hear the word vegan or vegetarian on TV, we're like, oh,
What?
what? So of course it caught our interest even more because we're like, all right, so how are they going to show this vegan on TV?
Yeah. But they were, one of the interesting things too is that during the show, the designer was, they give each couple a kind of quote unquote professional designer to work with them. And the designer seemed to be really thoughtful about it. She went and she found these materials and she made sure to check that the materials weren't leather, that they were in fact vinyl, and that there wasn't any of the stuff in it that she didn't want to have in her house.
Yeah.
And what I also thought was interesting was that one of the things they were covering. So it was like a chair or a seat that they were covering, and it had a vinyl thing on it. And I thought, this would be a place where someone might cheat, put a leather, find something cheap in leather and just cover it and not even think about it. But the designer made the point that even if she's going to cover it, she didn't want there to be that in there. I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought that was very nice.
And I maybe this is like the more like, oh, kumbaya, the world is getting better, Bob. But no, 5 years ago, however long ago we went vegan, it feels like 5 years ago, but it wasn't.
4.5.
Okay, 4.5 years ago when we went vegan, I would never have imagined that we would see a show like that where that perspective would be given that much time on a fairly major cable network. And I think things are moving in that direction.
I think so too. It's becoming more normal.
I think so.
I mean, it's never going to be normal, unfortunately.
No, I don't think.
But at the same time, it's not as abnormal, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess it's certainly not becoming accepted because, the sister-in-law is proof of that. But at the same time, we're like, okay, there are these people out there and we're showing them on TV.
Well, right. So maybe it is becoming more accepted.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, I mean, it's something they're willing to deal with and put on there. And I think also that vegan in some ways is getting caught up in this whole green thing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there are environmental reasons to go vegan, but they're not the best reasons. I mean, frankly. I'm sorry, environmental vegans. I just don't think that the reasons are nearly as compelling. I know the emails are going to come, but I've looked into it. I don't think they're as compelling. I mean, they're compelling enough, but they're not hugely compelling.
Right. They're not enough to get someone to go vegan and stay vegan, whereas the animal rights reasons are, I think.
I think so too. I mean, veganism, the way that I see it is an ethical and moral thing. So its approach is an ethical and moral question. You can approach the environment in an ethical and moral way, but the environment isn't sentient unless you believe in like some Gaia theory type crap. The environment isn't sentient. Animals are sentient. So for me, the stronger case is to be made when it comes to respecting the sentience of animals as a reason for veganism versus respecting the earth. And I'm not saying that respecting the earth is not important. I'm not saying the carbon footprints and all that, Prius driving hippie crap isn't important because it is. But I'm just saying that the most compelling case happens to be for the animal rights reasons.
Yes.
In any case, it's interesting to see that though on national television. And I don't think the vegan was portrayed in a particularly negative light on the show.
No, definitely not. I mean, the hosts and the actual show itself treated her just like they would treat anybody, any of the people on the show.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you also have to look at the other sister-in-law. She seemed like one of these people who partied a lot in college and like was ultra popular and still kind of has a little bit of that yearning for those college days, but this fear that she's getting older. Like I'm psychoanalyzing people on the show. Like I don't know them, I see them for 15 minutes. Oh, I figured out their life story. Great me, right? But she does seem to have that kind of like, wild little bit of that wild party edge in her. That
well, they kept bringing up stories of her dancing on tables while drunk.
Yes.
And their redo was like they put in a dance floor in their den kind of room. And
so I think given that I think that the more rowdy kind of sister-in-law was analyzing her other sister-in-law from this perspective of what she wanted herself to be. She's worried
Right.
that in fact she's getting older, and in fact she's losing her cool because she's popped out a couple kids, and that she's just not as peppy as she used to be, and she's not as attractive as she used to be, and she doesn't dance on the tables anymore. So I think that there's this part of her that's really caught up in her own fear about her own morbidity. Yeah.
Psychoanalyst. Dr. Bob.
Is that working for you there? I feel like Dr. Phil all of a sudden.
How's that working for you?
Except I'm not anti-gay and Christian. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but what the hell? You tune in for all kinds of randomness that we give you, and we are here to provide it.
This is true.
So, what else, Gina?
Voicemails?
Should we do voicemails?
I think so, unless you had something else you want to talk about.
Let's play a little theme. I'll play this for you, my white lady.
Time once again for some vegan freak voicemail. Maybe we'll hear from a hot chick
or a choice male.
Callers make us happy and help us keep our sanity, even if all they wanna do is fucking complain about the shitload of profanity.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is Alden from Baltimore. I'm currently residing in Berlin on a study abroad program, and I just really need to rant right now.
Berlin is so fun.
Yeah, good city.
And it's my first time calling. But so today at lunch, I ended up getting in a discussion with a boy who grew up on a farm, basically like a CSA, and we were arguing about dairy cows, and his point was basically that it's ethical for us to milk cows because otherwise they would die, and from milk poisoning or something. And I was trying to explain to him that the only reason that might happen is because of eons of humans domesticating and genetically modifying cows, and eventually I just had to remove myself from the situation because I was getting very heated and very frustrated because neither of us would budge. But
yeah, worthless situations like that, walk away.
I had to rant for a little bit because I can't rant to anyone here. Nobody's vegan. I have one vegetarian friend, but she doesn't see the fallacies with dairy. So anyways, thank you for doing what you do. And you guys provide me a lot of entertainment and you help return me to sanity when I end up talking to him too much and about too many things. So thank you guys and keep up the good work. Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and don't forget, we talked a little bit about this last week on our Vegan 101, not last week, last show.
Yeah,
on
it wasn't
Vegan
last
101,
week.
No, the Vegan 101 thing. And that a thing that a lot of people don't realize or don't remember is that in order to give milk, a cow has to be pregnant.
Right.
And they don't just get pregnant naturally. We make them pregnant.
Right.
So a cow wouldn't need to give milk if it didn't get pregnant because we got it pregnant.
That's right.
So I think a lot of people forget that that's how mammals work. We don't think about it because in humans, the people who are giving milk are the ones who've had kids.
That's right.
And we don't remember that that's the same thing with cows.
That's right.
So, they wouldn't need to be milked had we not been getting them pregnant. And that's one of the big problems with milk is that there's a calf involved in all of this. What happens to the calf? Veal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there were a calf there to drink the milk, this would be a non-issue.
Exactly.
A non-issue at all. Mm-hmm. And, the other thing, too, is that we're essentially bringing these animals into existence so that we can exploit them. I mean, that's the other thing, too, is that we're breeding and bringing into existence cows so that we can take the milk from them. Mm-hmm. We don't have to do that.
No, we don't. We don't need it to live.
So we don't need to do the step that comes before the milking that your, stupid friend is arguing we must do. There just simply is no have to involved there.
Nope. All right.
All right.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. This is Emma, the same Emma that was running about Tesco a few shows back. Anyway, I was just calling because I recently got some work back from uni. I'm studying psychology, and as part of that, we can carry out research. And with this, we were allowed to study anything we wanted to. So I decided to interview a non-vegan about veganism, because clearly that's something I'm interested in. I got a really good mark for the piece, so I was really pleased. But I just thought some of her responses were really interesting, and questions I asked, sort of on her views about veganism and stuff. And it's interesting. She said some things that really made me laugh. It's hard not to laugh in an interview, but I just about managed. She was saying about like a vegan is having to have like a high level of self-control, which is really weird, as if like we have these like urges and stuff to like eat meat, and I like said, but no, we choose not to eat it. To me, it's gross. You know, it's not like resisting it. It's genuinely choosing not to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I could eat it if I wanted to. You know, it's weird. But anyway, yeah. And she was also saying about.
Well, let me just interrupt there for a second. I mean, there's this whole thing like when people go, "Oh, you can't have that."
I hate that.
Yeah, you can't. Oh, I'm eating chicken, but you can't have that. Like, no, if I really wanted to have it, I could.
Right. I don't want to.
But I don't want to.
Exactly.
It's like a choice that I'm making very consciously not to have that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, oh, she wouldn't want like the hassle of like thinking about all the nutrients and everything, because she just likes, there was a quote, opening up the fridge and eating whatever she wants. So, well, yeah, you probably do that and you're not healthy. And just because I don't do that, like, I'm obviously healthier, like, but she just thought like because she like isn't a vegan, then she's automatically healthier, even if she gives no consideration to what she's actually eating. It was really strange. But
I also open the fridge and eat what I want to eat.
I do too.
Because my fridge is full of vegan food.
Exactly. So yeah, you stock your fridge with healthy vegan food, and then you're healthy and vegan.
There you go.
It was kind of interesting. She was saying like how she like admired vegans and stuff like that, and if she thought it would make a difference in terms of animals being killed, she would become vegan.
So it got cut off, and I'm not sure exactly what happened to the rest of it, but I think that got the most of it. So I apologize, Emma, for not catching the end of your voicemail. But yeah, that whole argument, like, oh, it must be so hard. I could never do it. It's not.
I agree. It's really not.
And you if it's important to you, that's what you do. You do it.
Yep.
And then you figure out what you need to do to get it done, to get her done.
Get her done.
and that's what you do. So you fill your fridge with vegan food, and like what you were saying earlier, to me, I mean, I'm not like running around all day, craving steak. It just doesn't happen. You think about where it comes from, and it's not appetizing anymore, and you eat vegan food every day, and it's wonderful and it's great, and that's what you do. I don't know. What's wrong?
None.
You're looking confused.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. It has nothing to do with you.
Okay.
I'm listening to you.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I was saying something stupid or not.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I was looking for this info on Peaceful Prairie while I was thinking about it. Because they need some cash.
I see.
But anyway, I completely agree with you. It's a conscious choice that you make, and it's one that is not hard. If you decide something important to you, it's something you live with, and it's making the choice to do what you think is right in your life.
Right. It's not some huge sacrifice or anything. It's just what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we talk about this a bit in the second edition of Vegan Freak. Kind of coming, I think we're a little more, I don't know what the word is. Maybe we do a little more tough love in Vegan Freak version 2.
I think so.
Than in Vegan Freak version 1.
I think so.
And I think I think in the part I've written recently, we're a little hard on vegetarians in Vegan Freak version 2. Essentially the same stuff. It's just not as couched in as nice a way. So, yes, indeed. So, yeah. Anyway, the thing I was looking for was this stuff for Peaceful Prairie. Peaceful Prairie is an abolitionist sanctuary in Colorado. They're trying to raise some money to do a capital improvement. So I'm sorry, I thought about that. Something you said reminded me of it.
Okay.
And I went and I wanted to go and do that before I forgot about for the show. So they need some money, and I will give you some more details about it. You can go to probably their website and find it. So, I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right.
This is what happens when I forget to prepare before the show.
Uh-huh.
So.
Right.
Yes.
So, more voicemails.
Let's move on.
All right.
Hi, Bob and Jenna. Even though I just started listening to your show, I'm already a big fan. It's so comforting to know that there are other people out there in this batshit crazy world that just feel the same way I do. So, thanks for being yourselves and keeping it real. Well, recently I've been in need of some advice. I've been vegan for a pretty long time now, and it's more important to me than ever to watch what I put in my mouth because of my 1-month-old son that I have decided to breastfeed. But in despite of all of my healthy eating, I still have in-laws that think I'm deficient in something and that I am unfit to feed my own child. And I know that I'm doing the right thing, and even though he is gaining weight and the pediatrician has said that he's extremely healthy, they do nothing but bitch to me about me being a vegan, and I'm sick of hearing about it and definitely just, in need of some advice. I would love to have your opinion on this issue, and if you had any advice for me, that would be great on what to tell them.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, thanks so much.
Well, that's a really, really tough thing because, we're not doctors and nutritionists, and so we can tell you that we think what you're doing is healthy, and you can tell, your in-laws what you think, isn't healthy, and it most likely is.
She said that it was.
And her pediatrician said it was.
Yeah.
So, but it's frustrating. It's like, how do you show someone who does not believe and who believes all this hype about how veganism kills babies, et cetera, et cetera?
You tell them that I'm raising my child in the way that I think is right.
Mm-hmm.
That the pediatrician said it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the research.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's extremely healthy.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps show them the statement from the American Dietetic Association?
Yeah, and the Dietitians of Canada.
Mm-hmm. They have a statement that says it's
healthy at all life.
Completely healthy at all stages of life, including pregnancy, breastfeeding, child, etc.
Yep, well planned.
Well planned.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure that the diet, I'm sure she's thinking very She says she's thinking very careful about what she's putting in her body because she's breastfeeding. So,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Not knowing your family, it's hard to say how to approach them
mm-hmm.
because I think there are different strategies that are necessary for different people
mm-hmm.
and different kinds of situations. But ultimately, if it's getting to the point where it's starting to frustrate you enough, it may be worth saying to them, look, this is my choice to raise my child this way. That's it.
Yeah, and he's completely healthy. The pediatrician has shown you he is completely healthy and growing. That's the most important thing. And I don't know. If things get really, really bad, offer to go to, like someone like Visanto Molina and say, all right, I'll get my diet analyzed and she'll show you that it's completely healthy
mm-hmm.
and I'm getting what I need. If that's what it takes, then something like that might be what it takes, unfortunately.
It might just take a while. You might just have to put up with it for
mm-hmm.
a while, though, until they either get tired of it and see, that clearly it's not affecting you or your son, right?
I don't remember.
Well, child,
mm-hmm.
let's say. I don't want to assume because I don't recall. But in any case, you can just put up with it for a while, and when it's clear that it's not affecting either of you in a negative way, they'll probably just give up.
Mm-hmm.
Really, when it just gets after a while, it gets boring to keep harping on you when clearly there's no reason to harp on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're intelligent about what you're eating a wide variety of things and being careful to get the kinds of nutrients you need to get, there's no harm in it.
Not at all.
There's no harm in it whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous for people to argue that there is.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it depends on the situation. How you need to be firm with them and tell them, look, this is an informed choice I'm making. I did the research. I understand what it's about. I know what I'm doing. Or you wait it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Or I guess you could go gently with them and just put up with it every single time and say, well, this is a choice I made and I think it's the right thing to do and it's healthy. And you just keep saying that over and over again before one of you wears down. I don't know who.
Mm.
It sounds though like you're getting into a situation where you're getting really fed up with it, and that's really tough to deal with because then eventually you're just going to snap.
Mm-hmm.
So it might come to the point where you just have to say to them up front, look, I understand you're concerned. I understand what you're doing. I understand why you would care. I respect that you care, but this is what I'm doing, and this is what it means,
mm-hmm.
and this is why you need to lay off.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yes.
Okay. Also, to get back, Peaceful Prairie, you can go to peacefulprairie.org. They're trying to buy an additional piece of property to kind of expand what they're doing, and it's long overdue. And they just need some money. So if you want to give money to a good group, Peaceful Prairie is a very good group. I don't really have anything to do with them, personally. I've given them money in the past, but they're one of the few groups I feel very comfortable giving money to. So,
mm-hmm.
I want...
Or perhaps you can ask for that as a gift for Christmas. Have someone give you money in their give them money in your name.
Yeah, not a bad idea at all.
Mm-hmm.
So peacefulprairie.org. PACEFULPRAIRIE.org.
Or give it as a gift yourself.
There you go.
Also.
Perfect point.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bob and Jenna, this is Natasha. I just want to call because I'm in a great mood. I gave a speech for my rhetoric class about speciesism, which I actually was kind of nervous to give at first because, we're talking about controversial issues. That's not one of the ones people tend to hear, and people tend to get kind of pointed because there was a question period afterwards where they got to ask any kind of question they want. So, but it went pretty well, and I, stayed pretty just logical and I think survived the questions. But I was happy because even though I thought, okay, I gave a speech, but no one probably bought it, there are actually some people interested in asking questions. And, one girl wanted to know more information. She said she didn't think she could ever be vegetarian, but, told her to go listen to your podcast, so who knows. But I actually also wanted to ask a question, ask some advice. The cafeteria at our university, even though it does offer vegan options, it's kind of, they're all right, and also nothing's labeled, so unless you know exactly what's vegan that day, which I was only able to do once I found an online menu, you have no idea of knowing what's vegan and what's not. So I was thinking maybe go in and ask, can you maybe put ingredient lists on everything? Because if you ask anyone in the cafeteria, they kind of look at you like, I don't know, and walk away and refuse to even look. So I was wondering if you guys could think of anything else or any advice for trying to make the cafeteria a bit better at my college for us vegans. So anyway, thanks guys, and peace out, and stay freaky.
Excellent. Well, you should go talk to the head of the dining services.
Absolutely. You can send them an email.
Mm-hmm. And that way, you're sure you're at least getting to someone who cares about what's going on there. And tell them, you need things labeled. You need to know what's in there because, you do not eat any of these, X, Y, and Z, and explain to them.
Sure.
most of them will know what you're talking about, but it's always good to lay it out, no dairy, no mayo, no eggs, no, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And say, I really need things labeled, and it will help me and all the other vegans and vegetarians on campus to know what we're eating. And if for anything, they should be concerned about allergies at the very least,
exactly.
Because that could set them up for a huge lawsuit if someone's eating something that they're allergic to. And dairy is a really common allergy, so are eggs.
Yeah.
So it's good for people to know what's in the food that they're eating at the cafeteria. So.
Absolutely. And I do think, having done this at the university I used to work at, where we would go to the people who were in charge and just say, look, having things labeled would be very helpful, even in a broad way. And they eventually did start labeling things that way. And we also made the argument that it was important for people who are allergic, like you said. Mm-hmm. And that seemed to work. It took repeated trying, though.
Yeah.
It took many times going back and forth and over again and things like that. Now, to be clear, I'm not encouraging you to go to dining services and lie and tell them you're allergic to these things. Because that reminds me of an email we got that I'll read in a second.
Okay.
But
but that's an additional concern that they should have.
Absolutely.
Besides the fact that people who don't want to eat these things are people who can't eat these things. I mean, that's really that's really a case of can't eat.
That's right.
So for both situations, they should be concerned.
Yep. I think it's a really good point to keep all that stuff in mind. And it just requires persistence. The thing is that with any college or university, everyone I've ever been at or to, basically the administrators just wait for you to go away. Because you're going to leave in 4 years or 6 years or however long it takes to get at your whatever degree you're getting. Eventually you're going to go away. And they're counting on that. So they will put you off and put you off and put you off. So what you will often need to do is apply repeated but polite requests over and over again.
Or maybe even start up a vegan or vegetarian group that will continue on after you're gone, so that you have more leverage. You say, we're this group, or there's a lot of us out here, or at least a few of us, and we have this concern, and so hopefully they'll see that this is something they should be doing consistently.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's what worked generally pretty well at the university we were at.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right.
Cool. Let me read you an email, though, before we get on to the next voicemail. Can I read this now? Yeah, okay. I got this email the other day, and let me also raise a point that we are super, super behind in our email, like months behind, because we've just been, I don't want to whine, but we're behind. Mm-hmm. So anyway, if you send us something, we will read it, but we're just really far behind. And I'm really sorry. I'm like embarrassed to say how far behind I am in getting to this stuff. And I'm also a world-class procrastinator. So I don't know. Anyway, let me read you an email I did get. And this person wrote to me, and this person said, I've been a vegetarian for many years now, and after finding your podcast and listening to a few of them, I decided to become vegan at least through the process of listening to all of your podcasts. I started last October and finished in February of this year. While I haven't been listening since then, mainly due to a lack of time and a several-month period without internet, I wanted to let you know that you have failed to convince me to be completely vegan. Your arguments are very good, but I don't believe that anyone knows the true nature of man or what our purpose here is. Well, I don't ever claim to know what the what the true nature of humans are, nor what our purpose on the earth is. I have no clue. I have no clue.
Does
Monty
anybody?
Python has no clue. They tried. They did a movie about it. They couldn't figure it out. Now, if Monty Python can't figure it out, who can? I never claimed to know what our purpose was on the face of the earth, but that's completely irrelevant.
Yeah, what the hell does that have to do with veganism?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay.
Right.
I am still technically vegan, at least by my eating habits, but I do not consider myself vegan or associate myself with vegans. The main reason for writing you this email is that I have an issue with you promoting lying about the reasons that people don't wish to eat meat in social situations. I feel that you lost any moral high ground with that. There is no ethical reason to lie. The most you should do in any situation where you do not wish to state the truth is to say nothing. I had been pointing people towards your site when they questioned me about my eating habits, but stopped doing so after hearing you say that it was okay to lie. I read this email, I started laughing. Because, okay, when did we say...
melodramatic.
It's a little over the top. I mean, it also has in there some very, very questionable... I mean, these are kinds of things we used to talk about when I was a philosophy major, right? Is it ever okay to lie? Well, now, let me say, the world is held together merely by white lies. Mm-hmm. It really is. Mm-hmm. And as someone that often has difficulty filtering those mind-to-mouth things, like sometimes I say shit I should not be saying, right? I know that lies are very useful in certain situations. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
Like, for example, this is an example I used in class when we were talking about the categorical imperative, right? We're talking about, is it ever, we were talking about whether it was ever okay to lie. And I said to the class, they said, no, it was never okay to lie. And I said, really? Your best friend who has a real self-image problem goes out and she spends $150 on some blouse and she gets her hair done and she comes to you and she has a self-image problem. And she says, look, I got this. Do I look good? And I said to the people in class, are you going to tell her she looks like crap? Are you going to tell her she looks like crap? You're going to hurt her feelings. You're going to make her think she wasted her money. You're going to possibly send her into a really depressive state. Are you going to lie to her and tell her, you look great? Or are you going to tell her you look like crap? What are you going to do? And most of the people in class said, well, I would not tell her she looked great, but I wouldn't tell her she looked bad as she really did. So what it came down to was white lying is okay, right? Mm-hmm. And people use white lies all the time.
Constantly.
All the time. Mm-hmm. Like, here's another situation, right? Let's say that you were dumb enough to eat a Taco Bell, okay? Yeah. And you had to make a run for the bathroom, okay? Yeah. You had, like, explosive, nasty, stain the bowl, like, diarrhea, right? Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you walk out of the bathroom and someone you work with is standing there and they go, or they see you right around the corner. And they, well, where were you? Where were you at? Like, they don't see you come out of the bathroom. Maybe they see you walk around the corner. Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a few minutes. What do you do? Okay. Our friend here says, say nothing. So you stand there. And they look at you and they go, well, where have you been? And you go, okay. So saying nothing works.
Right.
Doesn't work, right?
Right. So are you going to tell them the truth? Yeah, I was in the bathroom and I have explosive diarrhea.
Yes. Sorry, I had to crack the porcelain, right? I had to draft a memo to the McCain campaign. I had to wolf a blitzer. Right. Like whatever are you actually going to tell them the truth? The full truth? The full truth? Mm-hmm. No.
No.
Are you going to tell them I was in the bathroom?
Maybe.
Probably not.
Probably not, especially if they're headed in that direction. You don't want to be responsible for the stink.
Exactly, right? You know, the people I worked with, I wouldn't say, oh, I was in the bathroom. Even if I were in the bathroom, I would say, oh, I was
getting a drink or something.
Getting a drink. I would make something up, right? So that I didn't have to say, I was taking a huge wicked shit that's going to burn your nostrils, right? I just wouldn't do that. Okay? Like, so this is just a little diversion to say that there are in fact ethical reasons to lie. Mm-hmm. There are ethical reasons to lie. There are reasons to lie all the time because it maintains the social fabric. If everybody were always completely honest, the world would be a disgusting, hideous, difficult place to live.
It would.
We have to lie. It holds the social fabric together. Mm-hmm. Now, that is a completely different thing from us saying that I think what he's probably talking about is that once on the show or twice on the show, we've said, look, if you're in a restaurant and people are being really, really ignorant to you and they refuse to help you out after you've told them you're vegan and all this other stuff, tell them you're allergic if you need something.
Right. Because, I mean, the context for the original thing, I think, was this. We were responding to a voicemail that we got that someone said that he got the salad and it had ham in it and they wanted them to take it back and give him a new salad. And they said they would not unless he was allergic. Right. So we were like, tell them you're allergic.
Exactly.
If they're not going to accommodate you because you say you won't eat it because you're vegan, then tell them you're allergic.
Yeah.
If they're going to be,
if they're going to be dicks about it, why not?
Why not?
Right. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, in that situation, okay, in most situations, you want to tell people you're vegan because you want to be accommodated and because restaurants should learn that there are a lot of vegans out there and who should be accommodated.
Yeah.
But in a situation like that.
Yeah.
Why? What good is it going to do you?
Well, you've already told them you're vegan. And they'll take it back and say, that example was, we will not give you another salad unless you're allergic.
Right.
And then if I were in that situation, just to spite them, even if I didn't want to eat the damn salad, I'd say I'm allergic.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's a customer service industry.
Exactly.
So give me my damn salad and shut up, right? So that was a situation in which we suggested that might be the case. However, if you go back and look at the things we've written, if you listen to the shows, we are all about vegan pride. The whole entire vegan freak idea is that being vegan means you're going to be a freak. Embrace that. Run with it.
Exactly.
Own it.
Own it. Don't be ashamed of it. Tell people you're vegan. Don't be an asshole about it.
Right.
But don't shy away from it. Yeah, you're vegan, and maybe you're not going to, discuss the finest points of animal rights theory over the dinner table.
Right.
But at the same time, don't be afraid to tell people you're vegan.
Exactly. And so we've never really said that you should lie and not tell people you're vegan. I mean, I think he's maybe reading us a little too literally, perhaps, or understanding us a little too literally. But I did think this was really funny because I've talked about this in class before. We're talking about ethical and moral theory and whether it's ever okay to tell a lie. And, ultimately you can get most people to agree that there are times that A, they have told a lie, B, it's usually within the last hour, and C, that this is what holds the world together. And if we didn't lie, the world would be really, really screwed up. So I'm not suggesting that you lie in huge ways.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not suggesting that, that you lie to your best friends about things that are really important to them, or that you lie to your significant other about things that are important. I'm just saying white lies sometimes are important. So I'm taking issue with there is no ethical reason to lie. And I'm also taking issue with this. The most you should do in any situation you do not wish to state the truth is to say nothing. Think about how that would work.
Yeah. Yeah, that does not work.
Man. Sorry, I just had...
I forgot. We were originally going to read that in the show. We forgot about it.
We were. That was a little bit too graphic of a detour, perhaps, for some of our listeners.
Actually, for others, no, not at all.
No, and
vegans love to talk about poop.
They do. That's the thing. You get vegans together, and they're always talking about poo. What the hell?
That's because we're masters.
Indeed. All right, now we're on. How many voicemails have we done?
I don't know. I think
Bob
3.
and Jenna.
Oh, sorry.
I think have we done 3 now?
1, 2, 3. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Bob and Jenna. This is Natasha. I just want to call because I'm in a great mood.
Did we play this one already?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Where's the Ritalin for all of you sound effect? I can't find it.
Hey guys, it's Nicole. I'm not on the forums, but I do live in New York.
about an hour outside the city. And I had a question that's been kind of bothering me. Recently, my boyfriend's parents were babysitting for this little girl. She was about 3 years old. And it sparked my attention. It's the first time I told my boyfriend's family that I was vegan. And the mother was kind of freaking out. But then, we're all eating dinner, and so they decided to ask, why am I vegan? And a little girl was there, and I just kind of froze up. I didn't know what to say. I just had ethical reasons, and I think I was a little bit more, I said maybe a few more words after that and then just kind of shut up. But I'm about to be an aunt. My sister's having a baby, and I'm planning on helping to raise her. So I wanted to see if you guys are aunts or uncles, or if you have cousins that have babies or anything like that. You know how kids are curious about everything. If somebody asks, if a little kid asks, why don't you eat meat? What do you say to a kid? I don't know. Anyway, love your show, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
We don't eat meat because your mommy's a murderer and she feeds you meat. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely not. Go ahead.
We do not have kids. We do not have nieces and nephews either.
My cousin has an 8-year-old. Well, he's going to be 8.
Yeah, but I don't even think he realizes that we don't eat meat.
No, I don't think it comes up.
No, he just doesn't pay attention to that kind of thing because we're not there that much.
No, we're not.
So, you know what? This is one of those times where I'm going to ask parents and aunts and uncles to send us an email or some voicemails with your response.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
What have you told kids in the past that have worked that haven't like traumatized the kid for life?
Well, yeah, that's it. It's like your parents kill animals, like
right. I mean, and I do know vegan children.
Yeah.
Of vegan parents who are completely aware of the fact that meat comes from an animal. Like they understand this and that, and they agree that I don't want to eat meat because it comes from an animal and we shouldn't be killing animals, and so they know about that. But I don't know how the parents explain that to them in the first place.
And you also don't want to be in a situation where you're upsetting your in-laws,
right? Or or your sister or whatever.
Oh yeah, whatever the family relation might be, where you're upsetting them because you don't want to be in that situation where you say something that they find objectionable because they think you're indoctrinating,
right,
or trying to poison the mind of their children. So that's a really sticky situation. I thought about it, and I don't know. It's one of those play it by ear things. I don't know that I would be. I just don't know. I don't know that I'd necessarily be comfortable hiding a lot of the reasons for it. Mm-hmm. But it's a hard thing also to explain to kids. It is. I mean, it's easy to explain, but it's a hard thing to explain in a way that I think isn't traumatizing. Right. So I don't know.
That's tough.
It really is. So Jenna, I think you're right to ask for help because God knows we need it.
Yes.
Especially after the last segment we just had, we definitely could use some help.
But I also wanted to add that when you were explaining what you did at the dinner table and you didn't say a whole lot about it, that's probably fine because the dinner table is not the place to be talking about it, especially if it's like the first time that you've mentioned that you're a vegan. And like you said, there's a little kid there too. So, I think your few words will work better. And if they have questions for you later, then answer them.
I think that's a really good point too. Yeah. I think that was a pretty politically wise and kind of, you also have to be careful to maintain the dynamic of the family, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that these things aren't important to talk about. I'm not saying you need to not be honest about them, but I also think that it's appropriate to do it in different ways for different people and to also maintain the family dynamic and also not to turn people off to it.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to become that asshole necessarily. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. What would I do? I'd probably do something really stupid and make a fool of myself. Actually, I'd probably say something really, really ignorant because that's true. No, I'm usually not like that. I'm usually not. But I would probably.
But we're just not around kids that much, so
we're not. And the kids we are around generally. I mean, anytime we're around kids, they're usually vegans. So,
right, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough call.
But help us out.
Yeah, do help us out.
Send us some voicemails or some emails or whatever.
Do it, and do it soon. Are we done with the voicemails?
I don't know. Was that all?
That's all.
Okay. I don't know.
267-295-1944. Write the number down on your refrigerator door. Add the 001 country code if you call us from Vienna. That's how you leave a voicemail for good old Bob and Jenna.
Okay.
All right.
So that was the show. At least that's what we're calling it these days.
Hope it was entertaining at the very least.
I hope so. I don't know. Well, anyway, we've got a busy couple months ahead of us, so my goal is to get out a show as often as we can. So we're trying, know that we often feel guilty about not doing them.
We do. But this month and the next couple months are just insane for us. So hopefully at least twice a month is our goal.
I think we can. That's kind of where we're at right now, roughly. So
exactly.
I'd like to aim for that. So anyway, thank you for your patience with us. We very much appreciate the support you've shown us and the very kind feedback that many of you give us. So thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for listening.
So we're at 267-295-1944 is our voicemail line. You can visit our website at veganfreakradio.com. And please do get back to us about some advice for the person who's going to be an aunt and who wants to talk to her.
Yes.
Talk to her wee ones in the right way.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay. I will now stop embarrassing myself. I want you to know that if all several thousand of you were sitting here in a room and I were having this discussion, I couldn't do it.
No, definitely not.
But to me, it's just like me and Jenna sitting here talking.
Right.
So I can make a fool of myself very easily and it doesn't hurt nearly as bad. So anyhow, have a good fortnight.
Yes. Thanksgiving coming up.
In America.
In America.
In U.S. America.
Yes.
Not in America, North America.
No, but U.S. America, I hope everybody survives it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But, all right. That's
Bye.
Bye.
Vegan food coming at me all night long.
Being professional.
You do.
I can. I clean up pretty well.
You clean up very nice.
I clean up pretty well. And I also wrote a little bio for them that kind of pokes fun at libertarians. So anyway, go check it out at opposingviews.com. If you are so inclined, give me a little thumbs up. Because you can give a little thumbs up to the arguments. Give me thumbs up. Give me lots and lots of thumbs up. And yeah. Also, Animal Friendly, Eric from Animal Friendly posted some stuff over there too, so he would also deserve some thumbs up.
Definitely.
Presumably. I haven't had a chance to read everything over there. I will probably get involved in the debate. It's like a debate. You can post more arguments if you want to. I originally didn't want to get involved because we're under deadline for a book, and I didn't think, actually I'm under deadline for 2 books. I didn't think I wanted to be involved in it. Knowing me, I will not be able to keep myself away from it. Somebody will say something that will annoy the shit out of me. I will brood over it for 3 or 4 days. I will go there and write something, and I just won't be able to stay away. So I'm just predicting that.
That sounds about right.
It does, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Jenna, you know me so well.
Yeah.
Yes. Poor Jenna. She has to put up with me. I am so scattered and I don't know. I'm just like,
it's all right.
I'm easily distracted by shiny, interesting or technological things. So I'll be talking to Jenna in the middle of I go, oh, something bright and shiny. I'm like George Bush almost. Look at the kitty. So George Bush giving a little talk. Oh, is that a kitty walking by? So anyway, foods that are donated by a local business. Molly would definitely be into the snack foods at the local polling station. But a right to vote is not important for Mole.
No, he doesn't care who's president.
He doesn't. Although in my heart, I know he prefers it not be a Republican. So in my heart, I know that. I spend a lot of time, Mole and I, we spend a lot of time together.
Plus, if the economy's better, then that's, more biscuits for them.
That's true, too. So more treats for the dogs if the economy improves. And anyway, so was that you?
Oh, sorry. I just ran into the table with my chair.
Jeez, come on. Anyway, the point is that the right to free speech, the right to vote, these aren't the rights that our animals need in any kind of way at all, really. So in a sense, no, I don't think animals should have the same rights as people in those situations. But in other situations, in other relevant respects, for example, the ability to suffer and the ability to live one's life, not being the chattel of another, the ability to live freely, I think animals should have the same rights as people.
Definitely.
Or very similar ones, let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically wrote up a quick little essay about that and put it up on the opposingviews.com site. And there are other people there who are arguing, of course, against it. One guy, Tibor, whatever. How do you say Tibor? Whatever. Tibor Machan, Machan. He wrote a book that I critiqued pretty heavily in Making a Killing. So it was fun.
Yes.
So we have a couple things we're going to do in today's show.
We are going to talk about something we saw on TV the other day. And you have been featured on Opposing Views.
Yeah, I submitted an argument to the site opposingviews.com, which apparently has been broken this weekend. But anyway, it's a site where I was asked to submit something along... I guess we should begin to talk about this
Go
while
ahead.
I'm going there.
Why not?
Anyway, Opposing Views, basically, they have all of these questions that if you're on either side of whatever issue they're asking, make you want to pull your hair out with frustration. Things like, is spanking children okay? Was the world created in 6 days? Should boys be circumcised? Marriage for same-sex couples? Is homosexuality a sin? Is there a God? Intelligent design? And, of course, into all of this goes the animal rights stuff. So I was asked to contribute a brief little essay on should animals have the same rights as people? Now, I think it's a very troubling question.
Yeah, that's not the question to ask.
Well, not really, not fully.
Mm-hmm.
Should animals have the same rights as people? Sometimes.
Yeah.
in some situations, it depends.
It depends.
It depends. And I think it depends because would having a right to vote do Mole any good?
No.
Probably not. I don't think you go in there and pull the levers, number one. Though,
he probably could, actually.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And at our polling station, the polling workers usually have snack. It's Vegan Freak Radio number 102 on the 16th of November, 2008.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
Hello, everyone. It's Jenna.
And Bob, and we're back again for another edition of Vegan Freak Radio.
Yeah, we're just sorry. We're just slightly confused here because something went pop during the intro, and we have no idea what it was.
Yeah, I have no clue what it was. It's really weird. Well, who the hell cares? Whatever. Shit happens.
But anyway, we're still recording, so hey, that's good.
We're fine. I think we are still recording.
Looks like it. So, yep.
Okay, so anyway, welcome back to another edition of Vegan Freak Radio. We are broadcasting from high atop the elite fortress of moral superiority, along with Mole and Emmy.
Yep.
Mole is in here looking for attention, and Emmy is chewing on an island bone. And tugs, mugs of warm vanilla tea in hand. We're ready yet again to bring you more exciting vegan-powered radio.
All right.
Yes, kind of funny to see him up there because his book is something about why humans are nature's favorite, which on the face of it is a really stupid thing because humans are no way nature's favorite.
No.
I think there's just no way you could argue that. I mean, look what we do to nature. We have totally destroyed it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like saying, someone who beats the hell out of you and pollutes you is your favorite, right? So yeah, oh yeah, that person, he's my favorite. He comes in and kicks me in the nuts all the time and then injects me with paint with toxic chemicals. That's my favorite. So on the face of it, it's a ridiculous thing. But so I posted a little thing over there. You should go check it out. It's at opposingviews.com. I'll put a link to it in the show notes over at our site and in the email we send out.
And hopefully the links will work at some point.
They
get their site fixed.
The site has been very weird all weekend.
Yeah, some of the arguments work and some of them don't.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Very strange indeed. I do begin the piece by talking about the young ones, including a quote from Neil on the young ones, who is the hippie. Do I actually have that in the soundboard somewhere?
We used to, I think, didn't we?
We
used to have a bunch of young ones clips.
I don't know.
I think they might have gotten removed.
I used to have the vegetable rights and peace in here. Anyway, it was the vegetable rights and peace quote that I began by talking about in the thing. As an additional, I don't think it's an enticement. It's not really the word I would use. But if you go there, you get to see a headshot of me wearing a suit and look